You are listening to Craftcast, the podcast, where soul meets craft. Oh my gosh, we're back. And I was talking to Patrik about what should we talk about today? And Patrik said, let's catch up. What's going on in our lives? How we're dealing with the chaos of all the holidays, any traditions. And I just said to Patrik, it's really hard to get back in the studio, just even taking a break for holiday Thanksgiving if you're celebrating. Even if you're not celebrating, there's a lot going out into the world where it's all going on. So how did you handle it? Mr. Patrik Cusick. I know how I handled it, which is crazy, but how'd you handle it?
Good. It was actually really nice. And, just had a nice low key with a friend of ours. And, Rachel and her father, Rachel, my assistant, she went out with her father on a boat and they went fishing and crabbing. And so she came back with this huge thing of crab.
Oh, nice.
And so we had our crab, and then we had this. It was a seafood day, so we had lobster bisque as well.
Did someone make it for you?
I did. I made it.
Oh,
and
honey.
And then we had planned on just having the lobster, but everything just started to snowball, right? And then we realized by the time we made the appetizers and all this stuff, and we were all full. We were like, oh God,
right.
It's like we can't have anything else,
Right.
So we're like, well, let's get together tomorrow. Okay, so instead of lobster, let's do lobster Benedict. Yeah, okay. And we still have some champagne left over. Yeah. So yeah, okay, great, mimosas.
Yeah, right. The after Friday. Yeah. I love it. And to me, I know when people say low key, there wasn't a million people at the table, but it's that break in your brain no matter what, and I've even worked when I was at Radio City on Thanksgiving and the holidays, but your brain still does something, I think, a little different on the holiday, that thinks differently. It's just sort of embedded in us.
Yeah. But, you can't take that creativity out of there because it's like, I had to use a certain type of scooper to make sure that the appetizers were right. I couldn't just take a spoon,
right.
And then I'm like, okay, well, the chives need to be chopped like this. They can't be chopped like this, and they have to be dry,
right.
And they can't be they can't be wet. It was like this whole thing. And like, okay, that's enough. That's enough chive on there. It's going to be too many.
Yeah, as long as it's always fun. I'm very lucky. Mine is fun. I was telling you before, I had a great time at my son's partner's girlfriend's parents' house, which, some people would have had a hard time with because it was lots of activities and planned and fun activities. That's a lot for people. Not for me. I was hoping there was a badge to add to my old Girl Scout satch after everything we did. Did I get a badge for that? And it was so fun. It's a good sign and even my ex-husband was there, my son's father and his partner. So it's our whole group. And I was telling you, I even forgot that my son and his girlfriend were there. It's like at one point, what are you doing here? Oh, I forgot. That's how I got here. So it was, when you run into like-minded, it's so fun.
Absolutely. And then something happens. It's like we're in a time warp, and, we all of a sudden was like, how could it be 11 o'clock at night already? Didn't we just sit down? Didn't we just start this, know? And it's just,
It's a whole time warp thing. Oh, and what else was great was I didn't look at my phone. I mean, all the people I truly loved were right there in that house. I didn't have to check on anything. And we didn't have news or the TV on.
That's why you didn't answer my text.
There you go. And the football game went on once since our hosts were very big Naval Academy. So I was like enjoying going, go Navy. It was fun. But none of that outside came in for a few days, the outside news, and it was really a good break.
That's nice. That's really nice to just be disconnected from
a little bit,
all the stuff, just be around the people you love.
Yeah. Used to be easier to get disconnected. It's harder now. So I really enjoyed that. And I really felt like it was on a vacation. So I loved it. But then came back late Saturday, back to teaching Sunday online with Wiz and had a fabulous class,
Oh,
her showing how
great.
to make these little angels. But it was a whirlwind to go from, wait, aren't I partying, eating um, carrot cake and things? Oh no, I have to work on the computer. So, you jump back into it fast, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing like a deadline to make you do that. Do you have a hard time getting back into the creative?
It really just really depends on my mood. Like I don't, sometimes I am just like just not in the mood because of whatever. I don't know why, but I love what I do, and usually it's not a problem just, stepping right in. But
What do you
it's
do when you can't? What's your thing to do?
you mean when I can't and I have to, or I can't and I can just
Well,
say, well, I gotta
I know when we can't, but we have to. You just buck up and do it. But when you
yeah,
don't have to, do you do something to break that feeling? I mean, I know when I need a break, so I'll say, I need a break. I'm driving to the beach and looking around, or I'm going into Barnes and Noble, just walking around, or if it's nice weather, outside
yeah.
walking around. And that does it for me.
Well, my latest thing recently is I've been sort of reorganizing and cleaning the studio. Once a year, what I'll do is I'll go through all of the equipment in the studio and make sure that the flex shafts are taken care of and lubricated properly and
Wow.
all that kind of stuff, right? And so I started that a little bit early this year because I wanted to just reorganize. And so what I did was I was thinking, okay, I'm take everything that's not where it's supposed to be, put it on the table, and then I'm going to take, little trays and I'm just going to sort it all out into its all category, right? And then this is when I found out that, and you do it too. This is when I found out, oh yeah, I have four of those things,
Oh, not
and I
me.
have two of the same book, you
No,
know.
no, 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 no. Well,
So that was good. And what was good about it was I was just like just going through it and just kind of doing it at my own pace and just listening to music and sort of whatever. And all the big events and everything, for work have already happened this year. And so that was, behind me. And it was eye-opening to see all the duplicate stuff that I had. It was really good. But I'm like, wow, I bought all these gemstones, and here's a whole bag of them, over here.
oh yeah.
I didn't need to do that. But it was fun. And now I'm just sort of re-energized. I have a little bit more to go, but I'm re-energized and we're going to think about, redesigning the studio a tiny little bit, moving some stuff around, making some room potentially for some new equipment and,
Ooh, what's on your list
and
of new equipment?
a better, faster laser cutter. Laser cutter. Yeah, yeah. But it's like, if you have the Glowforge, right? And
Right.
you probably have the filter that goes with it. And
Yes.
yeah, these have to be vented outside and then, so on and so forth. So it's like we're limited to where we can move
Got
things.
it. Got it.
And then I have things set up how I like it already. So then now, it's a big thing. So
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's fun to go through. When we were all online rehearsing for the I Love Tools, I told Shelley when she's talking about one of the resins and the heavier one, the thicker one to use, which is great. And it's fabulous what she's showing us. And then I went looking in see that dark space behind me there, that black door? It's not. That's just not the light on. So I went into the depths there. I'm like, oh, look, I have that resin from some time, a long time ago. But you know what? All of us who are into this stuff have duplicates. It's sort of part of the deal. So I don't make myself wrong for it anymore because
Yeah.
you're at a show, you buy something, someone gives you something. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just sort of it is part of it. So, just share it or use it, that type of thing. It's like we all have
Yeah.
it.
That's what I end up doing if I have too many of whatever one thing
Yeah.
is. But I
Yeah.
was just happy to see it all in one place and like, you know,
Yeah.
I actually went through and I took off my yellow stickies off of my boxes that I have handwritten and actually put real labels on them.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, good.
It's like, so I felt good about that part.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Someone who's come in here, people will say, because there's so much stuff, but because of being an art director for shoots, it's all laid out. So it's all a photograph each place.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I get
yeah,
it.
that's what we need. We have to have that. All right. Well, now it's December. Do you do the making of, what are they called? New Year's Eve resolutions? Do you do any of that?
Oh no, I don't.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't. I don't. I used to do it, but I don't. Not so much. I mean, my New Year's Eve resolution is to drink champagne, and that's about it.
Yeah. I do things and have deadlines. And one of the ones that I've been working on, and I did it today, um, I got a final on my patent official done.
Right. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, at the beginning of the year, which is you learn the meaning of red tape when you do that. Anyway, done and have it. And they send you, which is they send you an email for all of it, but then they send you in a mail a hard copy, like 8.5 by 11, that says patent, and they put gold foil on it and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
It was very nice to get that. I didn't expect that. You have to do like, I don't know, 50 drawings in there, whatever. But then I thought, well, now what am I going to do? So I've been really doing some research. It's a craft supply that I can't believe that no one's done it yet. But it's a empty, a blank pendant in different shapes where the bail clips on and then smaller jump rings click on so you can add your dangles. Done. So I'm not going to start producing stuff in whatever country like that. So I thought I
Yeah.
just want to work with a partner. So I really thought about who I wanted to work with. I thought Fire Mountain Gems is perfect. Wrote the letter, revised the letter, did it, did it, did it, did it. And then I put on my calendar for at least the past week to send it. And I kept putting it off. And then today, I just felt it was right. I sent
Hmm.
it and I had to send it when I called. They're not going to give you the people's emails that you really need to send it to. But they said send it to info. And then I also had checked with an AI and it said, or questions at Fire Mountain. So I sent it to both. And I got an email back with the person saying, thank you. She's going to push it on to the right person. But it was with my name. And I thought, and my name was spelled wrong. And I thought she put two L's in. This is a real person wrote this letter. So I wrote back right away, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And she wrote back, it's my pleasure. Have a nice day. It was a human being. So now
Wow.
I really felt, you know, this made all the difference. So I put it out there. I did nice breathing and put it out to the universe that this person will take the time to look at this. It's so perfect for them. They even have some of the
Yes.
same people at Flower Mountain Gems that we have on Craftcast. It's like
Yes. Yes.
come
And
on, this is,
you'd be perfect for them, actually.
yeah, yeah,
That'd be really good.
thank you. So we'll see what happens. But it was like releasing that into the world felt good to finally do it and get it off my to-do list. I didn't want to see it one more morning to send that out. Other things had to take the place. So,
Yeah.
um,
That's
so
a nice project to have.
yeah, yeah, it was. But it was what's interesting in our creative world was to doing a patent, creating something is fun. Doing a patent, like I said, teaches you red tape and a way of thinking. And, you know, the patent is bigger than just the one piece I described. It goes into using magnets and different sections because that's what you do for a patent. But that red tape, is so crazy. I just could never do that, be a lawyer in that
Yeah.
arena. Totally separate now is now figuring out how to use it out there. And, it sort of stumped me when I got it. I just had to sit, it's over there on my wall, the big thing with the gold, like, okay, now what do we do? Okay, now you have to get it out there. And it was like, how? And all of that dialogue.
Right, right, right. I mean, that's going to be the easier part, though, the creative part of it,
Yeah,
is because you'll be able to sell it because you understand what the product is, but then you're also creative and you understand the market, right? And
thank you.
so it's like it's all of these different things that are working for you. So,
When
well,
I
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay.
We'll see what happens. I really just want to take a person over at Fire Mountain Gems and go like this and going, you have to do this. This is stupid not to. But then I realized that's not going to work. That's what I
Yeah.
really wanted to do. So I worked very hard to write the right kind of email. And I've done all of the logos and the things and pictures and possibilities and all that. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. I'm excited. That'll be a new thing. But I had to get that off the plate. I was not willing to go into January and still be putting that like not done. So, and then do you have this? So you're cleaning. I think that when you release a project, now you have space to do something else. It opens up
Yes.
space.
Yes, definitely opens up space. And with that in mind, we're working on this big project right now that is so, but you have the nature curated box
Yes.
with all the different textures in it. And so we're doing
So gorgeous.
the next iteration of that. And it's going to be
What?
I'm very, very excited about it,
What?
and I'm not going to say right now,
Okay.
but it's definitely a nice it's a great theme and it has style to it, brings a little bit of history into the style, and there's going to be multiple components instead of just textures that are in the box. And so
Wow.
you'll be able to use these components and they're all going to be custom. We're going to have custom molds made and all the designs are custom and proprietary to us. And I'm so excited on it. I just can't wait to get it together. And the textures, I mean, I can't even tell you. So I'm just so excited about the textures because they look so good. And
Well, you're a
working with
genius at
with
making
your
those
well,
textures. You are. Those
thank
textures are
you.
all just
This is
like,
going to be very different from what we've done
okay,
in the past, and
okay.
it's they're great because the images are, instead of having an overall texture, it's going to be more like an illustration
Mm.
where you have components that are sort of in the middle, but then you have things that are sort of coming out. And then, so depending on what part of the
Part you
texture
use.
you
Okay,
use, you're going to get a different texture. So,
fine.
so it'll be like you have one texture plate, but you have an option of six
A lot
different
of stories.
parts to choose and a lot. Exactly. Exactly.
I feel a new
But
class for Craftcast coming up.
oh yes, yes. Well, I definitely have some in the
Woo
back,
woo.
but it's been exciting and just and doing it in a way that has been completely mine. And now that Steven is on board, I can let go a lot of the other stuff that I've been doing. So I've really been able to, I always start out with a mood board,
Oh,
and
you do?
so oh yeah, yeah. And so I'll take my mood board and I get really into it, and then because I have an idea and then I'll try to expand on the idea. And then I'll more than often be like, that's too much. I better walk this back. Oh, how can we do this better? Or maybe I should do this. And so the mood board helps me to, keep on track. And also it allows, my assistant Rachel, it's like, okay, she's been thinking about this too, because she knows that this is coming up. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great, but let's rein it in and keep it just to this mood board. And then that in turn makes everything stronger because everyone's
Yeah,
working towards the same goal,
yeah, that's great.
So
I think that's left over too from our earlier working on different things in the creative world and all of that because you have to like when I would be in a meeting, let's say Robinson's department store, whatever, all the buyers come in and they just show you the clothes, what they like about it. Take Polaroids back then. And then your job is to make it real with a theme and a look and the photographs to make it all something actually real and to be cohesive. I used to do those kind of boards back then and then the layouts and all of that to figure it all out. And I think it is exactly what you said, a great way to keep the theme going through the whole thing. Otherwise, you
yes,
might
yes.
forget what you were doing in the beginning.
Well,
So,
it's easy to get, when you're creative, it's easy to get distracted by other creative things
no,
and to
no, it
be
isn't.
able to
No.
to be able to say, okay, shiny thing over there,
Yeah.
you're great, but that doesn't fit into what our current goals are because
Correct.
everybody, and I think, you and I know this, but, a lot of people who are outside of the art industry, this is about running a business and we do have goals. And so we have to
Right.
make sure that we
Right.
are spending our time wisely to
Right.
make sure that we get the product that we want to, the
Right.
end product, whatever that end product might be, whether it's a class or whether it's a book or whether it's,
Correct.
new merchandise, we have to make sure we stay on track. And so the
Correct.
mood board, when I was in design, we used to do the creative brief, right? And we'd have the creative brief, and it was more words. It was a little bit less imagery, but the imagery really helps because oftentimes when you say, "Oh yeah, I want a modern XYZ," and somebody else is hearing modern, but their interpretation of modern is something that's completely different. You
Right.
know, their modern could be space,
Correct.
right? And so, again, the mood board just helps bring us all in and keeps us on the right track. And it helps explain what that particular thing we're trying to accomplish is in terms of style.
Yeah. And you know what? I just realized too, I'd shown you the other day for the 2025 wrap up of I Love Tools. We do a
Mm,
PDF of all the different pages in
I
there.
love that.
And we make it fun, exciting. But right now I just printed it all out because now it needs to be looked at, edited, changed. But I actually print it out so I can redraw on it, keep in the mode of all of it, and rethink and do all of that, cut something out, tape it down. The old fashioned way of just seeing it like that. And then you can make it all digital. But in order to create, I still like to have it real in my hands like that. I don't like to create always digitally.
Right. Well, you're a visual person.
Yeah.
I'm a visual. It took me a long time to sort of figure that out on why I wasn't so connected to some jobs and I was more so to others. And that was because, it didn't start out visual. It started out more, more just words on a paper, I guess, if that makes any sort of sense. But then but if I'm in that mode and I get words on a paper, it's hard for me to see the big picture. But
Hmm. Hmm.
if I have imagery or, even keywords that I've made that I've just blown up to say, okay, this is the priority in this keyword. If I can have those visually in front of me,
Hmm.
it helps me put the big picture together and say, oh
Hmm.
yeah, I can see how this works in a CD or whatever it happens to be,
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
book.
Yeah. Then the trick is to be able to turn off that part of the brain at night and go to sleep.
Well, when you find out, let me know.
I woke up writing a parody to a situation going on here, like a Saturday Night Live parody to something. So I literally woke up at 5 o'clock and I'm sort of laughing, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to be up just yet. But my brain had gone off on this tangent that way, and I'm like, yeah, it's hopeless. Forget about it. Just get up. It's it's hard
Yeah.
to turn off the brain when you're creative that way.
Yeah, yeah, that happened to me the other morning, and I'm like, and it was that time period where it's like I could go back to sleep if I wanted to, and if I can, I probably will, but it's not worth it because it's only going to be 45 minutes or a half
Right,
hour or
right,
whatever it
right.
was.
Yeah, I
So
know
it's
we're all
like,
the same.
yeah,
I
well,
hope,
yes, get
yeah.
up.
And I hope people listening are going, yeah, I understand. I'm the same way. Because that's what's important. You don't feel like a total freakazoid when you realize I'm a creative. I have lots of doubles and triples of everything that of supplies I didn't mean to buy. I wake up thinking about stuff and I can't go back to sleep. Yes, we're all alike. We
Yep.
get excited and inspired when we see something easily. Talk about,
Yeah.
squirrel. Yeah. And, it's Robert Danzig, God love him. He taught me looking down in parking lots for things that have been run over by cars. So whenever I'm still in a parking lot, I walk through looking down. So,
Oh,
and then anything that's glittery, I'm like, oh no, that's nothing. Okay, never mind.
I went through, I don't know if you're familiar with this artist called Candy Jernigan, and
No.
she was married to Philip Glass for a while.
Okay.
And her first sort of big exhibit, I believe, was called Evidence. And she, lived in New York, and I guess that there was some drug dealings or whatever that were happening on their street. And so she was collecting all the paraphernalia to bring it to the city council. And there were police there, and they're like, "You realize you have some banned substances here that are illegal. You can't be carrying that around." She's like, "No, but this is just what I picked up off the street." And so that started her on this journey of documenting everything. And so her artwork is based on evidence, is what she called it. And it's very specific time and date and location of where she found this specific object. And they're all sort of presented in a row, all in this really neat fashion. But what that does is all of a sudden you're looking at, I'm just going to make something up, but you're looking at 50 bottle caps, and you can see how different each one is,
Oh
even though
yeah,
they're
yeah,
all
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
And then where they were located, and she had a little map,
Oh yeah.
there's like was all located, but really interesting. And
Yeah.
to be able to take something, like you said, something off the ground, like I have been looking, at one point in my life, I was like, after seeing her work, I was like, I'm gonna start collecting round things off the ground.
Yeah.
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 And
No,
so anything that was round, I'd pick up,
yeah.
I'd pick it up and you know.
No, you know what though, what's great about it is I say I can have a good time very easily. It's just the truth of the matter. I could say,
Yeah.
if someone like you said to me, let's go to that really big parking lot in Costco and just walk around and look at the parking lot and see what we find. I'd be like, what time? Or someone else would be like, are you out of your mind? I'd be like, what time?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I love that kind of stuff and finding different things. And I brought home a beautiful piece of driftwood I found on the beach when I was in Annapolis. That's just stunning. And my host said immediately, "Oh, what are you going to do with it?" I'm like, "I'm not sure yet," but it was like a really beautiful piece, and like to me, that was a great souvenir.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I love all that. That kind of stuff makes me very, very happy. So, but squishing it all in, especially now for people who are making things to sell and doing all their Christmas fairs and holiday fairs, that's a lot. We know how much that is to set up and do all of
Hmm.
that. Uh,
Yeah.
and you know, I want everyone to be successful. I'm going to go to a craft fair this weekend to look at everyone's and find things to purchase and all. But God love you, it's a lot of setup.
It's a lot of setup. There's a lot of people, and it can really be a lot of stress. And I
It's a
know that
lot.
there's a lot of folks out there too. This time of year, everyone is a lot of people are happy, but there's not true for everybody.
Right.
There's people out there who this time of year, and
Correct.
and that's okay.
Right.
If the holiday season doesn't resonate with you, I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay.
And
Do your own thing, and
yeah,
uh, you know,
I've done holidays on different days. I've done calm, low key, but I always try to give myself some space, even if I'm not doing a holiday with a lot of people, that I give the gift to myself to do something different.
yes.
Because that's the most important thing to me. So if it's a holiday and I'm not doing anything, if I can go spend then some hours just reading at the beach in my car, that's a gift to myself.
Well, that's good. You give yourself permission to be able
Yeah,
to do what's
yeah,
healing for you and
exactly.
not necessarily give in to the pressure of the holiday.
Yeah,
And, you have to go to this party and,
yeah,
you have to do all this stuff that, people want you to do. And it's very tempting to just try and do everything all at
yeah.
once, and giving yourself permission to sort of step back from that and be like, okay, I've gone to 5 parties this week. I don't need to go to a sixth,
Oh no, that would be a lot. Matter of fact, I'm going to go. My husband got elected this season to a common council. So all of a sudden he's Mr. going to meetings and things and blah, blah, blah. And he said, tomorrow night, Saturday night, invited to an open house. He doesn't know the person, but it's everyone who was elected or this and whatever it is. And he said, would you like to join me? And I had to think, okay, I know nobody and it's all politics. And okay, what do I have to wear?
I was
So
going to say, yeah, you're going.
And like when I've gone to something before, I always have a book or something in my purse because if it gets bad, I'll find some other place to go to wait till he's done. It's like, it's fine. You should do it, but I don't have to. And then I'm like, okay, this is just down the street. Worst came to worst. I could Uber home in 1 minute. So it's just, and I love doing stuff, but if it's really
Yeah.
not appropriate, it's like, I don't have to stay. So, but I thought, all right, I'll attempt this. It's like, I'm not good at talking the politics. My husband's genius at all of it. I'm not so much that way. I can be opinionated, but I'm not what he can do. So,
Oh yeah, I got lots of opinions.
yeah, I know. Yeah. So I'll give it a try. I'll let you know how that goes. Yeah, but otherwise, I also am like not in the holiday season yet. I'm like heard Christmas music today, and whether you celebrate it or not, you do get that feeling. I thought last night I went to Stu Leonard's to. I only wanted to look at a Christmas tree. I wasn't ready yet to just look around. Young, adorable kids working there selling the trees. but I think his name was Richard. I said, Richard, listen, I'm going to come back to you. I'm not ready tonight to get one. I'm just not in the mood yet, but I just wanted to look and see. So it was fine. That's where I ran into Santa, and it was great seeing Santa. He helped me a lot. So he said right
I love
away,
that.
yeah, are you happy? And I said, yes, Santa, I am. And as I told you before, I just am on though your misbehaved list, and we need to change that. So, so those are fun things.
Good
You
luck
can,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't know. I think, yeah, we'll see. I think I did okay. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so we have to manage through holiday season, good, bad, and ugly. There's always a lot of family issues. As we
Mm,
both know, during the holidays, it brings out sane family stuff.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. And there's the politics of being around family sometimes can be very stressful,
Very,
you
now,
know. And yeah,
I have my son. I don't have any family. So for me, all the years in my life, I always had my chosen family, but I'd hear the horror stories of like, oh, I have to get together with my sister and my brother. I'd be like, I'm not missing a thing. So,
yeah. Well, we're the same in that way, actually, because I grew up as an only child, and
okay,
so, there's and in terms of relatives, we're the only ones that were over on the West Coast. Everybody else was, Midwest, and so, yeah, I get it. I get that it's like, okay, I'm fine doing whatever. Thanksgiving, we usually go, for the past few years, ever since COVID, Stephen and I would go to the beach.
right.
We'd pack up a little lunch and we'd go
Yeah,
to the beach and,
right.
have great
Perfect.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
This time we didn't do that, but still, I mean, it was just like one of those things that, you don't have to go along with the regular tradition of
correct.
what everybody else is doing.
Correct.
You can make your own tradition
Yeah.
and do your own thing and be okay, you
Yeah. And
know?
not be, it's people getting lost in the sadness. Like I've seen with people all of a sudden, I guess it's the need of having to be in touch and then being upset you're not in touch shows up around holidays, not like
Oh, yeah.
during the summer, or any of that is what I've noticed. So it's a lot of extra angst and pressure, and that can get in the way of your creativity. So I hope anyone who's going through that it's not too painful this time of year because it can be very upsetting for sure. I'm very lucky. I don't have that, and I'm thrilled. And I can make it up how I want. My biggest decision was I love getting a Christmas tree, and I haven't been able to decide if I want the big one or a little one. And everyone should be so lucky that that's their biggest, consideration at the holiday time. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. We decided this year, okay, well, two things. That was funny. Stephen and I were sitting watching TV, and this commercial came on. It was the commercial of Dos Equis,
Uh-huh.
and they're sitting on. It's just one palm tree, and then the lights come on.
Mm.
The Christmas lights are on the one
Mm-hmm.
palm tree,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "It's here," and I'm like, What?" He's like, "It's here. The commercial is here, and it's officially the beginning of the holiday season." Like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's like I knew this, but it just took him for him to remember, to say
Yeah. Yeah.
something about it,
Yeah.
and but then, I said, "What do you want to do this year?" And we decided it was okay if we didn't decorate the house as much as we did last year. And if we feel like it, maybe we're going to have a tiny little tree or something like that. And right now we don't feel like it.
Right.
That might change next
Right.
week. But being okay with that,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
And I love my neighbors. I mean, my neighbors I feel like I don't have to decorate because my neighbors
They do.
decorate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's like all these inflatable,
Yeah. Yeah.
snowmen,
Yeah.
and it's great, and I love it.
Well, yeah. Some people in my neighborhood before Thanksgiving, 2 weeks before, they already had trees that were lit in their house. I'm like, you go, that's impressive. Um,
Wow.
I never needed to do anything that fast. And I feel like you, I'm going to do what I'll see. No one else will see it. So I want to do it by the door I always walk in, and then it gives me joy kind of thing. But just make it. And my friend said, just remember how long everything takes to put up is how long it takes to take down and put away. So time yourself. I'm like, I always remember that now. It's like, you know, don't spend a whole day putting stuff up unless you're going to take a whole day, take it all down.
It's
Um,
true.
yeah. So just do what you like and what feels good, and that's it. It's too much pressure otherwise. So, hiding out in the studio and making things is a nice escape.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Like,
And like I said, organizing, that's good for me
oh, I
too.
love
I'm
that.
going to
You've
be
inspired
organizing.
me. You've
Well,
inspired me, but then, it's like, yeah, that's a good
I have all
idea.
these I have all these found objects, quote unquote found
Yeah, yeah.
object that I'm going to be using in my art or whatever. And I realized the other day, well, now that I'm organizing this part of my studio, I need to somehow figure out how to organize that and merchandise that. So I don't know if that means all of the antique whatever is going to be, like I have these antique medical instruments, so maybe I put all those in one place,
Yeah.
and then so on and so forth. The ones that are not out on display, because I'm like you, I do the art director thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I'm looking at, collections of English bone china flowers in front of me, little Japanese boy and girl salt and pepper shakers, mushrooms. I mean, but that's the kind of stuff I need in order to be creative. It makes like a creative cocoon there, sort of thing. But I do put everything back in the containers that all are the thing that they are in there so I can find stuff again. It's not disorganized, but yeah, it's not terrible. I can usually find something. Just lately, I've been feeling I've maybe gone just over the ledge because I can't find everything that fast.
well, they have apps for that, so you don't need to remember. You
Ay,
just
ay,
put a
ay. Oops.
barcode on it,
Yeah,
put a barcode on it, and you'll be fine.
sort of true, sort of true. Well, as
I
long
was,
as we stay good and happy finding stuff, we're fine.
yeah, yeah. I was impressed. This is kind of way off the tracks here, but I was watching this documentary on Candy Spelling. And
Hmm.
she, after Aaron Spelling passed away, and then she had that huge house in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
and she had the gift wrapping room and the doll room
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
so and so and so on and so
yeah.
forth. So she had to move out of that house and move into a smaller house. And they made a documentary about it. And so I was fascinated. I was like, yeah, I want to see this documentary. She ended up with six warehouses full of stuff, right? I thought I was bad. Six warehouses, and her assistant had to go through and go in and barcode everything and put it on their iPad so she could find something if she needed to find this china for whatever and find this. I thought, holy moly! It's like,
No,
yeah,
that's going on.
but yeah, she could afford to have six warehouses, so I
Yeah,
guess
there
it's
you go.
okay. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I'm not someone who wants to live in a big house, and there's a lot of big homes here where I live, especially on the water. And I just saw in the local newspaper that on the water here, off of coast here in Connecticut, Harvey Weinstein had property, and that was sold and torn down. But next to it was also Marlo Thomas and Danny Thomas. Not
Oh
Marlo, but
wow!
Danny Thomas and I guess his wife. Another one. And then there's a third property, and it was announced this is beach property. I don't know how many acres that is now. And someone bought it for $56 million, that whole strip of
Wow!
land. And then it said they're not willing to announce yet who purchased it, but it's a great, good for the environment, people, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, how much room do two people need, though? I mean,
I
do you
bet
have
it's their second home as well. That's
correct,
probably not their primary residence.
correct? And
So
I always feel like that would give me the creeps if I guess you're never alone in a house that big, but that's too many rooms. So not for me. That's way too much space. That, oh,
well, the thing about the spelling mansion is I saw a thing about Tori Spelling, and she was talking about how oftentimes she'd have friends come over and they would get lost in the house trying to
yeah,
find each other because the
yeah,
house was so big,
yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. It's like I knew growing up where I lived in Connecticut, the houses were big, but there was a reason. Usually there was at least three kids. The You didn't go out. There wasn't restaurants or anything. You did all entertaining at home. So
Hmm.
there was a formal living room, formal dining room. Remember when those were all very important?
Hmm.
And then the husband had a room for his hobbies, his den. The mother of the house had her room. The kids had their playroom and their bedrooms. that made sense because that was it. You really, your house was your place. But these rooms, like you just said, when it's a second room, it's like, what are you doing in all those rooms? I just, I just want to ask that question and walk around.
What do you do in this room?
Yeah. How many, what's
And
going
when?
on?
When was the
Yeah,
last time you used this room?
exactly. Exactly. Anyway, I think it's all great. So I'll be interested to see who comes into that space there and what happens. But
Yeah, keep
yeah,
your eye on it. Give us
I
an
know.
update because I'm sure all of
Yeah,
our
I
audience want to know who could buy a $50 million house.
know. Yeah, I don't, yeah, we'll see. La di da. I'll be very honest. I would have no interest in that. That to me is just way too much pressure of space. Like, no, 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 no. So, but
Yeah,
I do find it interesting. So, well, I don't know, hon. We'll make it through another holiday season here, having
sure
fun,
we will.
laughing, enjoying all that kind of fun stuff. I'm determined to bake something. I have my call it California fruit cake, and I don't know how the recipe started, but billion years ago in California, my dear friend Nancy, I think her mom invented this. And basically, it's making a fruit cake, but changing out all of the citron and the funny colored stuff that's in there for apricots, walnuts, dates, all the kind of fruit that you love. And it's
Sounds
really good.
good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
excellent.
Well,
So
the fruitcake, sorry.
it is, but it's a fruit cake, but not with that red and green stuff and all of that. Yeah,
It has a bad rap,
it
and
does.
I mean, the ones that we get here in the States are all terrible,
Yeah.
but they can be really,
Oh
really
yeah. This
good.
one is like, yeah, it's a hit. Because you're just using great fruit and great everything. So I have to get out of the studio in the kitchen at that point for that.
I think one of my mom's friends got a fruitcake one year, and she was using it as a doorstop. And
We
she
could
had it for years
You
because of
could
all the
resin it.
preservatives.
You could just resin it and use it as that. Get out the resin, pour it on top, stick it under a UV, done.
We should talk to Mags. Mags can make one for us out of polymer clay.
Oh, it's come to that. Listen, as long as we can keep laughing and enjoying and making, doesn't get any
Yes.
better. It just
Yep.
doesn't get any better. So, all right, honey, thanks for a little chit chat. And we will chat again next week. Maybe we'll be more
Sounds good.
serious about our design and all of that. But we just wanted to catch up and have a thought of after holiday regroup feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we should do it again after Christmas as well,
Oh, yeah,
with that holiday season. So,
exactly. All right, honey, I will talk to you soon. Thank you so
all righty.
much for chatting.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
I hope you enjoyed today's chat. You can follow us and subscribe at Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And please take a look at all our amazing video tutorials at craftcast.com.